I love everything movies, TV, and geeky related, and I want you to love that stuff too. I just watched X-Men 97 and I was so happy with it. I'm so happy. It's just one of those things where you just as soon as you turn it on, you just feel joy. You know you're in for a good time. That's very rare when you just know that you're going to enjoy something. Like I'm just sitting down on the couch and I'm watching it and I'm just instantly big smiles on my face. Oh, okay. I want to get into it and let's talk about it because I'm really excited. Let me get this chat all set up. I guess I can do a poll. Let me start a poll. Let me get that. So, what did you think of X-Men 99 or 99 97? What did you think of X-Men 97? I wish there was an easier way to do this. Let's see. Did you love it? Did you Was it meh or was it boo? Yeah, okay. Let's do it like that. Did you love it? Did you Was it meh or was it boo? Okay. So let me talk about what I liked about it. So first off, let me pull up my notes because I have concussion brain and it's hard to think sometimes. Okay, first off, I lo- I almost destroyed everything. I love that they kept the theme song. They at least updated it. It was like when it starts off with the Marvel Studios opening and it just slowly transitions into the theme song. I was like, wow, that was perfect. Like that was so cool. I loved it. And I'm just, as soon as that starts playing, I just I start dancing. I'm having a great time. Oh, thank goodness. Thank goodness they kept that theme in. It was perfect. I was just like it was like if everything else was different, as long as they kept the theme song, I was gonna be a happy camper. I'm so glad they kept it. And when because they dropped episodes 1 and 2 on Disney Plus, so and they're gonna release a new episode every Wednesday. So we got the first 2 episodes today, and I was super excited. Like I was totally into the crazy X-Men action. Like I thought it was great. Let me check my notes. When they're fighting the Sentinels, first off, they're fighting the Friends of Humanity. That's who they fight off first, and that was dope. I like to see bigots get punched in the face, but we'll get into that later. And then, how they're fighting Master Mold and the Sentinels, like that was so cool. And I love the part in the first was it the first episode? Yeah, it was the first episode where Gambit jumps onto Wolverine's back and like stores energy into his claws that'll let him like blow up Master Mold's head. I was like, oh, that was freaking sweet. That was so awesome. I love that. And then Storm being an absolute gangster, like when he was like, bring the rain. What did Cyclops say? He was like, bring the rain or bring the thunder, bring the thunder. And then you just see the Sentinels are starting to freak out, like, oh, a mega level mutant detected. And I'm like, oh, heck yeah, Storm with that action. She's just walking across the desert, causing the sand to turn into glass. And that was so awesome. Like, she's cool. And I'm like, I hope we get more Storm being a gangster, which, we'll get into that later. And I like Cyclops too. I don't know. I want him to be my favorite X-Men. I just like the I beams. The I beams were cool. I thought it was really cool when he was falling out of the. Not, I was gonna say Quinjet, but the Quinjet is definitely the Avengers. But it's the X Jet, the X Jet. He's just falling, and he's like, all the people, all the X Men that can fly are helping people. He's just like, nah, I got this, and he just blasts a beam into the ground, and that causes him to just slowly fall. I'm like, that was epic. Great job, Cyclops. I like Cyclops too. And then Morph is in this, and I like Morph. Morph was confusing to me because he or they it no not it definitely not it they Morph was just, and I got to use the right pronouns for Morph. They would change into different characters, so it would confuse me because at one point I'm like, wait, what is Colossus doing there? He wasn't the Nope, that's Morph. Wait, what is Lady Deathstrike is helping the X-Men now? When did the Oh, nope, that was Morph. Why is Sabretooth attacking Wolverine? Where did Sabretooth? Oh, nope. It was Morph again. So it was like, it's cool that Morph can turn into basically any mutant and then also use their have their powers as well. I think Morph was also turned into what's her name, Psylocke, turned into or I don't know if it was in this episode or if Morph did it in the original series. I think Morph turned into Omega Red briefly. I think I'm probably thinking of the original series. Then I saw I had to watch a what happened prior before watching this because it's been. When was the last time I watched the X-Men animated series? I think it was just like I want to say I was 12 when I watched it last. But, so I had to watch it like a quick recap. And I think in that recap, it showed Morph turning into Omega Red. But anyway, Morph was turning into a whole bunch of different characters. And that was awesome. It's just like, oh, we have no way to write in Colossus or write in Psylocke. So we'll just have Morph be the all-around character. Hey, if you're missing a certain X-Men character, Morph will just turn into them. So I thought that was really cool. And then you get to see Sunspot briefly, like I'm gonna say this dude's name wrong. De Ortega. I think that's it. If you guys know Sunspot's real name, please tell me. I already forgot his name in the first episode. There's just so much is running through my head right now. But Sunspot was cool. Like, you just see, him ignite his arm, and so it like turns all black with like the weird sun energy around him. But I'm excited to see more of Sunspot. That looked cool. I'm until he starts like going ham on people. And then let me check my notes. Zoom in here. Magneto. When Magneto shows up, I love me some Magneto. I know he shuts things down. Magneto was epic. I loved it when he fought in this series. Like, he looked great in this. And I liked he keeps his long hair. And they did change his outfit a bit. That he has the big M, and I know that's his costume at some point in the comics and in the original series. I think he did it too. I haven't seen it in a while, so I don't quite remember. But he looked great. He was awesome. I wish he had his helmet on more, but can't have everything. That's fine. Let's see what's next. It goes hard. X-Men 97 goes hard in the racism. It's here to remind you that, hey, no, this is about discrimination because humans suck and they're racist towards mutants. And I love it to see. I don't love seeing racism. I love seeing bigots get jumped, and that's what was happening in these first two episodes. We got the terrorist group Friends of Humanity, which are definitely not friends. They're very mean, racist people, and just seeing them get beaten up, that always puts a smile on my face. That's what we need more of. That's what I hopefully we're getting from this show, because like this show I feel like is a nice punch to the face. Like, hey, Earth, humanity, we're pretty awful. We're very discriminatory. We're very prejudiced. We are very hateful. And we have this genocide going on in Palestine right now that we're just, enjoying our lives here. But, we got to do something. So I appreciate that this show is just like, hey, there's a lot of awful things going on that we're perpetrating. We should fix it. So, I love that X-Men is like, in your face about it. Like, we need that. We need that in our faces sometime. I don't mean that in a gross way, but you know what I'm talking about. And so just seeing the Friends of Humanity just getting beaten up and blasted with Cyclops eye beams. I keep wanting to call him Scott. That is his name, but like, it's Cyclops. See him blast them, and they're getting beaten up. It's great. We need more racist people getting beaten up. Let's have just on the TV show. I'm not condoning violence. I'm just saying, in the TV show, I want to see them beat up the racist dudes more. That's great. Let's see what notes, because concussion. This story has me invested. So I forgot that Charles Xavier died. I remember it leaving on like a hanger, like a cliffhanger, like his alien girlfriend came to pick him up while he was about to die. So it was just like, it's up in the air. He's died. I don't think he's dead, but we'll get into that later. But the fact that Magneto is the leader of the X-Men now, like, that is wild. I think he was leader of the X-Men at one point in the comics too, in a similar situation with Charles Xavier dying. So I think it's going hand to hand with what's going on in the comments. But I like that, the X-Men are confused, Magneto's confused, and I like his line where he's just like, now you understand what I learned years ago. Charles can make mistakes. But it was also like it shines Magneto in a new light. One, like nowadays Magneto is more sympathetic. You understand where he's coming from, especially, just going through the path, and look at the past couple decades we've had. Magneto makes sense. Like, once again, I don't condone violence, but considering everything that he's been through, especially as a mutant, I kind of get it. And to see him as the leader of the X-Men, at least in these two episodes, and for him to still, even though he disagrees with Charles Xavier, he's still going to honor his best friend. We'll talk about that later. He's still going to honor his best friend's last wishes and follow his dream of, trying to create a peaceful coexistence between mutants and humankind. So like that was really cool to see, just that dynamic of Magneto like, ooh, I want to kill all y'all, for being so racist and, just hateful and trying to destroy us. You create sentinels to hunt us down and kidnap us so you can experiment and torture us. But because you lucky my best friend said not to do that. So I really like that dynamic. That was really cool. And then where is Charles Xavier? Like, I know they say he's dead, but in the original series back then, he was taken off planet by his girlfriend. If you guys can remind me what her name was, was it Liara, Leandra, Leah? It's something. She's from the Shi'ar Empire, and she took him away before you could see him like die. So who knows if he really is dead or if he's going to come back. I personally think he's going to come back. I think he's not only going to be alive, but he's also going to be walking. That's my bet for future episodes when Charles Xavier returns. But that's what I think. And then we talked. I mentioned this or briefly mentioned this earlier, but when Storm like jumped in the way of that executioner gun, is that what it was called? And she lost all her powers. Like, oh no, Queen, Goddess, Storm, why? That broke my heart. She lost her powers, and she's just laying on the ground crying. And like at first, I was thinking that Magneto was the one that set up the Friends of Humanity being there, so he can have a reason to be like, look, this is why I'm so radical, because you're just attacking. But like when Storm got shot with that gun, and she lost her powers, like you see Magneto, like not Storm was crying, but Magneto was crying about it too. So I'm like, okay, no, maybe Magneto is legit about turning a new leaf, just to respect Charles Xavier's wishes. But it just made me really sad about Storm, and now she's moving. Like she left at the end of the second episode. She's leaving the X-Men to find herself, find her calling, and as a human now. And I'm like, it's okay for her, to have a little time off, but like, I want more of Storm. I hope this isn't like a permanent thing. Like, oh no, we're wiping Storm off the board. I hope they keep her, like, just bring her back quickly. I hope resolve this quickly, because Storm is amazing. One of my favorite X-Men. I'm still deciding like who's my favorite X-Men, but Storm is definitely on top of that list. So I hope she gets her powers back. Oh, also at the end of the episode, they mentioned the island of Genosha being supported by the UN. So I'm this is gonna be cool. The mutant have their own country now, and are they going to do the same thing they did in the comics and just have a bunch of Sentinels commit just this mass attack on mutants? Like, I have a feeling that's where it's going to lead, because Jean earlier I think in the first episode was having visions of like just this calamity. So I think that's what she was for like seeing in the future. Like the master mold is still out there building more sentinels, and then all a bunch of mutants are going to gather on Genosha because it's a mutant country. They feel like they're safe there, and a bunch of sentinels are going to attack. I'm pretty sure that if I remember correctly, that's what happens in the comics. So think we're in for a really dark season finale. if I think that's where it's going to end up, Genosha being attacked. That's where that's heaven. And what else? And then Jean and Cyclops, they have their baby. It's Nathan Summers, and if you don't know who Nathan Summers is, that's Cable, the time traveler. That was crazy. But even crazier than that, Jean shows up at the house. Another Jean asking for help from the X-Men. So it's just like, oh man. In the comics, the parents of Cable was Cyclops and Madeline Pryor, who was a clone of Jean Grey. So is the Jean Grey that had Nathan, is that the real, in this universe at least, is that the real Jean Grey, or is that the clone, or is the Jean Grey that showed up at the X Mansion afterwards, is that really the clone? Like, oh my gosh, drama. Like, I don't know what I would do in that situation. Like, if I'm here with my wife, and then all of a sudden a knock on the door, and it's my wife also. So like I couldn't even imagine like just the mental spiral Cyclops must be going through. And I don't know if the clone Gene knows like which one's the clone. I don't know. I have a feeling Mr. Sinister is involved with this because just clones. Clones are always messy business. Messy business. Hold on, I need a Oh Lord Jesus, I was talking like a mile a minute. I'm so sorry. Let me catch up on some of your comments here. And Outsider, how you doing, man? I'm hanging in there. It has been a really tough month personally, but taking it day by day. Appreciate you asking. How are y'all doing? I hope all of you are having a good day. You're doing fine out there. Hope you're just having a good time. I hope everything's okay. And Mystical says, hi, what we talking about? We're talking about X-Men 97. That's what we're talking about. I love it. It's a great movie. What else did Outsider say? I believe Marvel. I believe in Marvel too. I love me some Marvel. And it's a hero. Oh, you're answering person. Thank you. Thank you for checking them out. Boomer. You're hot. Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate that. That makes me feel good. I've been feeling kind of in my feelings, self-esteem wise. So I appreciate you saying that. And let's see. I've been watching videos of Wolverine's kids in alternate realities, and they are pretty powerful. Wolverine in the comics has some pretty crazy kids in terms of power. Like, they're ridiculous. It's not just X-23. There's so many different like children of Wolverine, and those are really cool. Maybe we'll see more of those in this series. And then let me check the poll real quick. We got a lot of people. Oh, let's see. We got 11 votes. 55% of you say you love X-Men 97 so far. 18% say meh. And then 27% of you say boo. Oh, excuse me. Oh, what a mess. Why boo? Y'all don't like this? The 27% of people voting, you don't like X-Men? Why not? That's sad. Well, it's okay. You're entitled to your opinion. You're entitled to your opinion. If you don't like something, you shouldn't have to keep watching it. It's not against the law for you not to like something. It's just like, how can you not like it? But it's okay. You're entitled to your opinion. All right. What else? Let's talk about some guesses for the future. So we only seen the first couple of episodes. So there's still a lot that can happen. Here's some of the guesses I have so far. So first off, because of that Jean Grey showing up at the mansion with Jean Grey already being in the mansion, I think it's some clone shenanigans. I think we got some more issues with Mr. Sinister. And it's kind of teased in the intro of, it shows Morph running, and it's definitely Mr. Sinister, creeping up on him. So I think we got some Mr. Sinister shenanigans coming up. And let me check my notes. What other guesses I have? I think Storm's going to get her powers back. How, though? I know they already dealt with him a bunch in the original series, but I would love for Apocalypse to come back. He is my all-time favorite X-Men villain. He's my second favorite supervillain. I have a list. And like I love this, especially the animated series version of Apocalypse. Like I love that version so much that I got a quote from him tattooed on my rib cage. Like, I am the rocks of the eternal shore. Crash against me and be broken. I got that tattooed on my ribs, and it's awesome. I love this version of wow, stuttered. I love that version of Apocalypse. One of my all-time favorites. Great. I hope he returns and he gives Storm back her powers and like makes her one of the four horsemen of the apocalypse. Maybe she'll be death or war. I don't see her as since she's Storm. It would probably make more sense if she's like famine or yeah, like famine because that's like not really weathery, but you can create like a barren desert. So that's kind of stormy. She can be famine. I think famine would work for her. And then what else? What else? I also think Charles Xavier will be returning and he will be walking. Like his alien girlfriend, remind me of her name whenever you guys get a chance. I think it's Leandra or Liara. She's going to use her alien technology to not only heal Charles Xavier, but to like, added bonus, you can walk now too. Like, I'll hook you up. And then that's her boo. I feel like she would take care of him like that. So those are my guesses. And then I also think they're going to eventually update the intro. So instead of showing like Xavier versus Magneto, it's going to be Magneto because he's as far as we know, these first two episodes, he's a good guy now. And it's going to be him facing off with like maybe Mr. Sinister or Master Mold or Apocalypse. Like who knows? They probably won't. They probably won't update the intro anytime soon. But I can see them doing that, especially with Magneto as a good guy. But I'm going to take a quick break. Let you guys answer. What guesses do you have for the next few episodes of X-Men 97? There's so many different ways this go, but what are some predictions that y'all have? And then I have some more questions for y'all coming up in a sec. I guess. Talking really fast makes me tired. Drink out of my red Power Ranger cup. I love it. Oh. But what are some guesses that you have for what's going to happen next in X-Men 97? I would love to hear where you guys think this is going to go. I'm excited. And then also some questions for y'all. Who is your favorite X-Men character? I'm still debating about mine. Because I think they're all really cool. Like each one cool in their own way. I want to say, I like Wolverine, but I'm like under that impression like he's so popular that I don't want him to be my favorite. I do love Wolverine, but it's just like, I already know so much. He's already so popular. He doesn't need another person saying like, you're my favorite X-Men, I do love him though. Not taken away from him. I want to say it's between, for me, Cyclops and Storm. I'm like kind of back and forth on those two, but it's subject to change. I really like them both. I want to say I lightweight. I don't know. I'm still debating. Who's your favorite X-Men? I'm still thinking of mine. What else? And then you already asked you where do you think the season will lead? It can go in a number of different directions. So I'm excited. I'm excited for what's to come. And then what do you want to see in the future of the series? Like what storylines or what characters do you want to see them introduce, or what storylines do you want to see them tackle? I would love to see Avengers versus X-Men in this series because I know this is in the same universe as the Spider-Man animated series, the Iron Man animated series. Like this is the same universe, so they could do an Avengers versus X-Men storyline. And I think with all the issues between humanity and mutants, they can do a lot with that and like introduce the Avengers in this series. Like I think personally that would be awesome. And then what else? What other animated show do you want to see revived? And why is it the animated Spider-Man series? Like that's when I want to get this X-Men 97 treatment next. Amazing Spider-Man. I love Spider-Man. That's my all-time favorite hero. If that series can get this treatment, the X-Men 97 treatment, like I think that would be beautiful. Need that in my life. And then, have you even watched the original series before? And if you have, let me know when. I I think the last time I watched the animated X-Men series, I think I said I was 12. That was a long time ago. But I'm so glad it's back. I'm so glad they're continuing this. This is so much fun. And I had a great time talking about it. Thank you so much for listening. I really appreciate hanging out with you. If you enjoyed this live stream and you want to see more like it, or you want more geeky content, movie reviews, all that, or if you just want to hang out, like this live stream, subscribe to my channel, and yeah, I'll give you more of that. I would love to see y'all again. I love to talk more X-Men about you or other things. You'll see me around all the time. But thank you so much. I'll talk to y'all later. I'm heading out.